This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, welcome to show 188, Aussie Mac Zone. Proudly brought to us all, because I listen to it as well during the week to find out all my stuff ups, like that one, athwebhosting.com.au. Affordable competitive plans, 99.95% uptime, domain registration, free setup, auto setup, instant activation, PayPal as well as other cards, 250 scripts including WordPress and Joomla. It's also got Apple News up there now as well. User-friendly, feature-rich control panel from $5.95 per month when paid annually. So, Garth baby, how are you?
G'day, Michael. How's it going, mate?
Fantastic.
I am well.
Geez, you're looking good too. Has your seat fallen down a little bit more, or can you just tilt that screen a bit again?
Probably.
Just drag it.
We come again.
There we go.
This seat just
that's a bit
slowly
better.
sinks down over time.
Do some exercise, lose
the gas
weight.
is gone. As I get older, I just go lower and lower and lower.
So, we're lucky to have Nick back in a sort of way tonight. He's just a bit coffee and under the weather, but anyway, here we go. So, our Aussie Apple Ramblings this week start with Apple stock races ahead as investors bet on new iPhones. A year ago, many investors had given up on Apple, whose stock price had fallen more than 30% from its 2015 peak. And Apple's once unstoppable growth had come to a crashing halt, they believed. Anyway, today Apple's business remains sluggish, but that hasn't stopped investors, including the famously tech-averse Warren Buffett, from falling in love again. So shares of the tech giant, on Friday they closed at 143.65, up nearly 60% from last May's trough. So, but we're waiting to see what they actually tell us on Wednesday our time when they release their quarter results. But they're still struggling making money.
Yeah, I don't know what sluggish means either. I think the definition of sluggish is a bit different than it used to be.
Yeah. Yes. It's only money, isn't it?
But yeah, well, it will be interesting to see what the quarterly results are. So we'll have those next week, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Lots of money coming. and like,
well, that's guaranteed. Yeah.
Yes.
Whether it is as much as A, B, or C expects it to be is another question.
I've got to tell you, they're still paying more than me.
Yeah, well. You and me both, and then some.
Yes. So there's today at Apple, which is launching worldwide. At the heart of every Apple store is the desire to educate and inspire the communities we serve, said Angela Ahrens, Apple's Senior Vice President of Retail. Today at Apple is one of the ways we're evolving our experience to better serve local customers and entrepreneurs. We're creating a modern-day town square where everyone is welcome in a space where the best of Apple comes together to connect with one another, discover a new passion, or take their skill to the next level. We think it will be fun and enlightening experience for everyone who joins. The free programs focus on the features of Apple products customers love most, across all skills levels and ages. For example, an iPhone user interested in photography can start with 6 how-to sessions that cover shooting, organising, editing and more. More advanced photographers can join experimental photo walks that leave the store to dive into techniques including light and shadow and portraits and storytelling. Going further, a photo lab features accomplished photographers on topics such as capturing candids, building a brand on social media, or simply sharing their perspective. And I know someone that's actually done one of those photo type walks and was very happy. That was a year or so ago, but yeah. Apple will also offer special programs for families and educators. Teachers can come together for Teacher Tuesday to learn new ways to incorporate technology in their classrooms, or aspiring coders of all ages can learn how to code in Swift. Families can join weekend kids hour sessions ranging from music making to coding with robots. And then also small business owners can engage with global and local entrepreneurs in new business circuits program. So they're actually really trying to get everybody in the door, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how quickly they'll roll this sort of stuff out. I mean, I guess it's growth of the existing programs that are there. Is it going to be just the main stores that will get, like my little Gold Coast store that's in a shopping centre? How much of that will appear there? Or will I need to go up to one of the big stores in Brisbane or something like that? I don't know. That's,
So from what I understand, it's happening in all stores this month. And there'll be one night where and I haven't got days on this, but the store will close normally at whatever time and open with a totally new layout the next morning. Every store in one night. Every store in apparently in the world sort of thing in one night will change overnight.
Yeah, that... change the physical layout and so forth in there, or just
yep.
It'd be interesting anyway. Well, keep your eyes peeled for your local Apple store then.
That's right.
See what it looks different.
Have a look every afternoon and every morning to see if it's changed. Please let us know if it happens. Yeah, that's just a story that I've heard, but I got no idea of the date or whatever. But it'd be a major logistics nightmare, wouldn't it? Trying to do every store overnight.
Oh, you would think so.
Yeah.
Every store in the one night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sounds insane. Is that really hard to pull off? Basically, is what I'm saying.
Now, Apple delays launch of Carpool Karaoke series, and this is a baffling one. Apple, I wouldn't think, had a staffing problem for this because the show's been going on for quite a while now, but they've actually delayed it. It was supposed to start this month, and I think they've delayed it for an unknown period of time. Whether they're trying to get it to line up with some other thing, I don't know, and neither do the people that I've heard it from. So, any thoughts on that, my friend?
They're finding without, what's his name, James Corden?
Yeah.
At the helm, it's just not as funny as they hoped it would be. So it's the content, maybe? Content related, the audience testing is not going well. I don't know. They've made a habit of delaying things lately, though. So you wouldn't think they'd want to delay it after announcing, roughly when it was coming out.
You'd think it'd just be rolling over.
Be something fairly compelling.
Yeah, but you think it'd just be rolling over from what they had to what they were. Just start filming.
But that host. That show was so dependent upon the host.
Yeah.
And without him in the main seat, then what have you got? You've got the new Top Gear.
Mm-hmm. True.
So.
Now this is another one that I'm confused about. The Guardian pulls out of Apple News after extensive trial, and also Facebook's instant articles. After being one of the original Facebook instant article pioneers back in 2015, The Guardian has pulled its content from both Apple News and Facebook's instant article format. According to DigiDay, the action may be a result of the large publisher not being content with the deals they're being provided. It appears readers are getting enough with the snippets that they are not going to read more of the story, and therefore not letting The Guardian ask to pay for more stories because they want to get you into the paywall. So I'm baffled about pulling out because it has to be basically cheap/free advertising for them. But time will tell.
Yeah, I guess it still takes effort to get it in the right Apple format, and the problem is that how many of us well, like they're finding people do not click through. You're getting the news. All you want is the snippet, and you're getting that for free. So why bother? Why bother going to the Guardian?
Yeah, but
So
I'm
you can
going to
see
get it. I'm going to get it anyway. I know whether it's the Guardian or somewhere else.
Well, this is true. But,
So yeah, it's very hard. It's very
if you're
hard to
not
know
getting
how
any
to
money out of it,
monetize
then-
everything these days.
Yeah.
And you had another story regarding Facebook in Australia, my friend. What was?
Facebook, yeah. So this is not strictly Apple related, but well, it's not Apple related at all. Other than hope Apple wouldn't do this sort of thing. Apparently, there's a leaked article that the Australian got hold of, showing internal documents from Facebook that sort of advertising material that they had designed to lure advertisers. Like that's how Facebook makes their money, inserting ads, obviously. But being able to specifically target users in the Australian New Zealand market, because it was Australian advertising, for teenagers who are in, well, teenagers for a start, but in various states of mental, whether they're happy, feeling insecure, feeling depressed. We can tell you when the teens are feeling depressed, so you can advertise to them at that point, when they're feeling vulnerable, when they're worried about their self-image, so all the machine learning and the look, they've got access to Instagram and and photos in Facebook, putting all that stuff together to get a good mental map and make sure that your advertisers, you can make your advertising money count.
Yeah.
How this affects, is this a practice that's gone on all over the world? I would assume so. But yeah, it's obviously Facebook is saying, well, we don't know how this could possibly happen, and we will investigate, and something's obviously not correct. But I guess we'll see what happens out of that one.
Yeah, well, I thought they were actually. There was a comment a couple of months ago about Facebook being able to tell parents or friends when something was going on, but maybe I'm just trying to defend them for something. But
yeah. But I mean, and they can probably. There's probably a lot of algorithms and a lot of information that they gain, and they may know. Okay, they may be able to identify that so and so is at risk, or a certain situation is going on. And obviously, they've done a lot of great things with disaster situations where people can check in and make sure that everyone knows they're safe and so forth. But the other side of that same coin is, hey, we know how to make your advertising dollar count.
Yes.
And it's nothing that app developers and especially these game developers haven't been doing for years as well. In terms of manipulating the psyche to be able to make their game sticky or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
There was, I was listening to Triangulation today, and it had a app developer on there. This is one of Twit's shows, and they make games that aren't shoot 'em games. Their game is to do with Palestine and Israel. This is their first one, and
yes,
you get to choose whether you want to be the leader of Palestine or the leader of Israel, and how to try and get a better outcome than what we've already got. And it's basically teaching you. It's a thinking game as opposed to a shooter game, and how you can be trying to do the right thing and people see it the wrong way around, etc. So it's just talking about games and what people are doing these days.
Very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
Now another little quick story that that I came across that you may be aware of yet, or soon will be, I'm sure. Apple have extended the battery replacement warranty on Generation 1 watches up to 3 years.
Yeah.
So after, I don't know, has there been many cases where we've seen these, batteries swelling.
I haven't. I think I've heard of one, but I honestly can't say that I've heard of many.
That many, no.
No.
Nonetheless, they've decided to extend the warranty out to 3 years, which is a good thing to make sure those people are taken care of.
For swollen batteries, remember,
not for the whole,
not for flushing it down the toilet or
or smashing the screen.
Yeah.
Which is the most likely outcome.
Yeah. And I heard an interesting one this week as well, on another quick one. The Apple self-driving cars have had the steering wheel and pedals removed and replaced with Logitech gaming wheel and pedals. So that basically they can prove that it's totally self-driving, and then there must be just a USB port there that plug in the pedals and the wheels if they need them, and away they go. So you can just see on one side of my car now, it's got the jack and the tire wrench. Yep. On the other side, there'll be a plastic box that's got the steering wheel and the spare set of pedals on the new car.
Spare set of pedals. Yeah. Well, I hope it's a good quality Logitech one, not too plasticky.
But yeah, you can just see, boom, there we go.
Yeah. I want to have a go at driving for a while. Grab out your remote control, plug it in.
Yep. Yeah, or you get to where it's snowy, for example, and it can't define what side of the road you're on. Those little challenges that they haven't resolved yet.
Yeah, that's the difference between level 4 and level 5, isn't it? Those edge cases.
Or I'm getting really aggro and I want to go and run over things and steer.
I think it'll override you. It won't let you do that.
So
your average self-driving car is going to be in any car, so I think the Apple version is going to even be more so.
Yes. Very interesting, but to see what they're doing to... And there's lots of self-driving cars going around these days, apparently. Especially in the States. Yeah. Something like 500. So,
bring it on, mate. Bring it on.
So, any special discussion this week you think that we can bring up?
Well, that was it then, just then.
Yeah. I know, because, again, it's all gone quiet waiting for the financial report, which is Tuesday American time,
and more
I think.
To the point, WWDC.
Yeah, that's coming up too.
A little ways off, but yeah.
Yeah. So, just a reminder that we are promoting Aussie Tech Radio at aussietechradio.com. Just go in there and listen to all those superb podcasts. We've also got the Aussie Tech Security podcast, and we've got the Aussie Tech Heads podcast. Those famous guys.
The award-winning Aussie Tech Heads podcast.
Absolutely.
Get the award-winning bit.
Yep. Award-winning. Voted by you, the listeners. Now, also, please remember that we do have Apple News page. So if you go into Apple News on your iDevice and do a search for Aussie Mac Zone and Hardest, that's how we should show up on your favourites page, and anything that I hear in a hurry that I can push through, I will do so.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you won't be pulling it from Apple News because you're not getting enough click-throughs, Michael?
No.
You're not getting enough conversion to your paywall? That's not a problem for you?
A paywall? What the hell's that?
I know, right? Flat out with a garden wall, let alone
That's
a paywall.
Right, yeah. I think that the only wall we got's Glenn's one to stop the tide coming up at this place, isn't it? When the floods.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, how to turn your old iPhone into your kid's dream device. So, got an old iPhone lying around? Make it kid-friendly with these helpful tips. If you have an old iPhone lying around, chances are you're not getting much use out of it. They still have phones kicking around but doesn't get turned on anymore. So, but if you've got kids or grandkids, there's really no need to let a perfectly good device go to waste. They're probably bugging you to play with your newer phone anyway, so give them a device of their own. You've just got to kit it up first. So basically you have to erase it, grab a case for it, load it with games, organise the home screen for the kid, enable restrictions, create a child Apple ID, and set up FaceTime. Set up FaceTime.
And you can set up FaceTime as well if you like. It's a good.
Yeah, and then I've provided a link in the show notes, so just grab that. And it gets very technical. So it doesn't get really technical. It just gives you the advice and a walkthrough for it. So, or
And don't forget the bit there where Michael said put a case on it.
Yes.
That's the main part. Put a freaking case on it because
because
if they're boys, they will be broken.
they do get dropped, unfortunately.
Yes.
So yes. Now, a little earlier this year, we had a thing called the file coder ransomware was encoding files. And now there's been an article published on how to unlock these files if you've been stuck somehow. So you'll need a working computer, Xcode or Text Wrangler, Xcode command line tools, something called PK crack source code, one unencrypted file and the corresponding encrypted file. So maybe from a backup, etc.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a link on how to do it. So even if you don't feel that you have this problem, but you don't feel technically good enough, people will be able to help you. And you can just say, this is how it's done. Because I'm sure you've got tech-friendly people that you call on all the time. Yeah.
Well, hopefully none of our listeners have been struck with that one.
Yes.
That's all I can say. It's pretty nasty.
And another one was this week's email. Can I merge two Apple iTunes accounts? Unfortunately, I don't think so. I haven't found a way. I've researched it a bit lately. But you can set up family sharing with those two accounts, and that perhaps gets you a similar outcome where you can still be buying games and still get covered for the updates of the games that you're doing, etc. Just depends on who you logged into on your device at the time. So maybe that's a way of appearing to merge the accounts, but just by having your family sharing turned on.
Effectively, that will do it for you, won't it?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you have access to all the purchases on the device from both accounts.
Yeah.
And as you say, you can get your updates and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's important. Just another thing that just I got reminded of thinking about that regarding the kitifying your phone. Make sure you've got a backup first, because if you go through this process and forget that you actually got iCloud connected to it, and you wipe the contacts out, or you wipe your calendar out, or something like that, just double check you've got it all sorted first, please.
Get your photos off there before you erase it and so forth.
Yeah. The reason it reminded me of the neighbour on the weekend said, how do I get my contacts back? Because she deleted them on one phone, which deleted them from everywhere, and they couldn't work out how to do that.
Oh, what went through and actually deleted the contacts?
Well, they deleted, I'll get rid of that the phone had been given to Mum, and then they said, Mum doesn't need that one. One daughter said, Mum doesn't need that one, Mum doesn't need that one, Mum doesn't need that one. And then the other daughter rings up and says, you're doing something? All my contacts are going away. But they were gone.
Yeah, they would be.
Because
you deleted them.
Again, not setting up two accounts straight away, that sort of thing.
No, that's right. Just leaving it signed into whatever account it was in.
Mum's allowed to have her own account.
Yes.
Believe me.
Absolutely. Far better.
Yes. So you're giving her the phone, let her have an account.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
give her own 5 gigs of free backup for a start.
yes. So that's all I've got, my friend.
Beautiful. Another nice quick show there, Michael.
Yeah, I've hopefully we'll have lots of money to report on that. They're all, they've decided to halve the price of the phone and lots of other things next week.
That sounds pretty likely to me. We might get a round screen on the next phone too, just for something different.
Yes, yeah. That's the puck they're chasing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Imagine the press they'd get, innovate my ass.
It even looks like it now.
Exactly.
All right, my team. Thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you all again next week.
Good night.